Okay, let's get on with the story here. Let's see if I can, yep. See that scar right there? This is just a quick story. It's one of the millions of scars I've had, and this is about the difference between old school men like me and millennials and guys who have a wife that they have to obey. Back around, I think it was around the beginning of July. Yep. For a moment I was using one of my Energizer, which are really great flashlights, but it's getting older, and for a couple of seconds it flickered off and I bumped into something. And I just felt like I bumped my knee, so I went to bed. And in fact, I bumped into something that had put a hole in my knee going in this way to the very center of the knee that was about the size of a 12 gauge shotgun shell. It was about the same thickness, about the same as the center of this, nearly the same length going into the center of my knee. So I went ahead and went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and stuff. As soon as I was getting out of bed, I was going like, there's a hole in my knee. There was a little bit of dried blood, not much bleeding. And I went over and just sat at my desk, and I'm like, yeah. And I took my finger, and I stuck it all the way up in there, and felt around for debris. And I go like, no debris. So, no real problem. And because I did this repair myself, so there's actually a 3rd degree burn. It starts all the way down here, which you chat rats keep calling dirt and stuff. And it's all full thickness layer, all 3rd degree burn. I did this using cell migration and even dirty fingernails. I used these areas, all these areas here, to deliberately inoculate myself to everything in my environment. So I wasn't worried about infection, especially since I remind my doctors and stuff like that I live in a rural area and I have to have certain things on hand all the time. I keep SSD cream, I have a few Cipro pills, I have a steroid that's extremely useful. Still I'm just not into taking pills or nothing. And that's, I'm sorry, I can't even see I need to shade that a little bit. And so actually for the first night, and it wasn't until the end of the next day that I dabbed, just put some SSD on my finger and stuck it down that hole. I was going like, should I stitch it up? And I go like, no, it's on a flex joint. The stitches will just make the scar look bigger and stuff like that, and they'll probably just leave it alone. And it took a while and stuff like that, but it closed up very well. And you can see all that's left out of a hole that was made by an object almost that large, right into the center of my knee. And did I bitch or complain? Did I run to the emergency room like you would? Yeah, if you got a wife, you'd have to go. But if you're a guy like me who knows biology and knows medicine and knows it's probably no chance of getting infected, and especially I got an excellent anti-infective on hand, used very little of it. I didn't even use actually for it to completely close up, it took almost 2 months, but internally it began to close up pretty quickly. But that's the real difference between us old guys and you young pussy. Yeah, I know, look at them dirty fingernails. I've been doing some few chores today. I just thought I'd point this out and upload it real quickly and stuff. Is the rest of you millennials and pussies and shit like that who are just so filled with terror that and people like you, like Alex Jones, who've never been stabbed, probably never had a puncture wound in your life, never had a real serious injury in your whole life, go around talking tough guy all the time. And this is how a tough guy acts. I've been punctured like this many a time. There's a lot of scars down there. I can tell you all kind of stories about, like fucking digging that 38 slug out my fucking shin. Crap like that. I've sewed myself up, so many other people up so many times. And that's what I'm trying to point out here is the difference between real men and men who are married to women, unfortunately, have to obey those women when they go, no, you go take care of that. I understand you guys. That's okay. But there's just a difference. Most of you people overreact. You even drag your kids. I've watched women drag their kids into the emergency rooms at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the kid is perfectly fine, only has a slight case of sniffles, just because she's terrified. But this is a real man. You pussies, me real man. I did this myself. Didn't bother wasting no time stitching that up. It's on a flex joint. That knee's going to be constantly flexing. Didn't slow me down. Didn't stop anything and stuff. And really didn't. And I wanted to leave it open. I'll finish with this. One of the reasons I decided to not stitch it up is in case, with my finger, I missed some debris in there. I knew that my knee would eject it. It would fester and eject it. It didn't happen. Never got infected. For months that thing was open and stuff like that. It's actually was looking better then until the other day I decided to kind of scratch off the last of the little scale on top. But as dark as that is, in a year or two you won't even notice that ever happened. And that thing was a hole that size right into the center of my knee. The rest of you pussies, you would have laid off, you would have taken off from work, you'd have gone straight to the emergency room, get stitched up, taken antibiotics, you'd orally, topically, put bandages on it, smell. Not me. Never sewed it up. Just let it go. And so I knew I wouldn't get infected. I spent 2 years inoculating myself. I knew that there's really nothing around here because I'm not you. I'm not a millennial. I'm not some pussy wanting universal health care when I'm like 22 years old and healthy and absolutely in no danger of anything happening to me at any time because I live in a snowflake line safety crib closet and shit. So that's the end of this. Yeah, this is another story of a real man versus you fucking pussy ass millennial motherfuckers.